Hello, and for our newcomers, a warm good morning from Matosinhos, Portugal. And for the returners, welcome back. We are about to watch a game here together between Spain and Finland. I am your host, Amanda Dennis, and I will be introducing the teams. Let's start with Team Spain. Number 1, Maria Del Mar Marino. Number 2, Sarah Alvarez. Number 3, Carmen Benitez. Number 9, Raquel Rico. Number 7, Baleen Martel. And number 8, Sonia Lopez. For Team Finland, we have Mina Grunroos, who's number 7. Number 5, Lida Kapula. Number 1, Mila Lapalainen. Number 2, Krista Lepinen. Number 6, Jasmine Mikola. And number 4, Azra Tayebi. We're starting off with Spain, who has the ball. They have number 2, Sarah Alvarez. Number 8, Sonia Lopez. And number 7, Baleen Martel on court right now. Whereas Finland has number 6, Mikola. Number 5, Lida Kapula, who just scored her first goal. And number 2, Krista Lepinen. Kapula just scored that first goal in the center right past number 7, Martel. She'll take her second shot of this game now, starting from that right side. She's going to spin around and throw another ball into the center. Saved by Martel and passed off to Spain's left side to Sarah Alvarez, who's going to be searching for her first ball down the line for Kapula, but blocked out on her feet side. She'll take this ball and run to back center, hand the ball off to Krista Lepinen, who'll take the ball back to her left side of the court. She's going to wind up and throw a smooth ball into the center, but blocked by Martel, passed off to Sonia Lopez for Spain. Lopez throws a full cross-court shot trying to hit Kapula, but just out of bounds. Kapula will now have her first shot of the game. She's moving into the center to throw the shot, moving out Mikola and throwing again into that center spot, trying to hit Martel, but not able to do so. Martel passes to Alvarez on that left side, who throws a bouncing shot into that gap between Mikola and Kapula, but the ball was saved. Kapula was going to throw a smooth shot down the line on Spain's left side on Alvarez, but she easily blocks that ball after a chase and throws back a skipping shot into the gap between Mikola and Kapula again. Mikola will take the shot from center, number 6, right-handed, throws a ball into the center at Martel, who makes a block, passes it to Lopez. Lopez tries to throw a bouncing ball across court, dives a bit, and that momentum off the shot really angled it out. This time, Krista Lepinen goes to that right side, collects the ball, and moves back over to that left side. She throws the ball into that right gap between Lopez and Martel. Deflected off of Martel, but collected by Lopez, who throws into the gap between Mikola and Lepinen. Lepinen is able to get this ball now, starting from that left post. She's starting off of the court boundaries and throws a ball into that gap, saved deep in the gap by Martel and passed back to Sonia Lopez on that right side. Lopez throwing a smooth shot this time into Mikola, blocked forward and passed off to Kapula on that right wing side for Finland. Kapula spins around and throws a skipping shot into Sarah Alvarez on the left side for Spain. She sets up at that left post and throws a bouncing ball into Mikola in that right gap for Finland, who passes back to Kapula. Kapula on the right side of Finland's boundaries, hitting a smooth shot into Alvarez again. Alvarez is going to set up again at that left post, and this time she's going to throw a bouncing ball into the feet of Kapula. Saved. Kapula will go to back center and hand the ball off to Krista Lepinen, who's going to throw from that right side into the center. Smooth shot with lots of pace on it, but blocked by Martel. Passed off to Sonia Lopez on the right, but she's going to run to that left side and throw a bouncing ball at the feet of Kapula, who blocks the ball out easily with her feet. The ball will be placed back into Capula. On that right side, she's going to set up at the post, spin around, and throw a bouncing ball across the face of Martel, who's not able to block the ball. Saved deep, deep into that gap by Sonia Lopez on that right side. She's going to take the ball from right to left and throw a ball bouncing but dies and straight out of bounds on the side of Capula for Finland. And Lepinen is over. She'll take the ball back to her side of the court on the left. She's going to throw a right-handed ball straight into the gap between Martel and Lopez in front of her. It looks like Sarah Alvarez is over on that right side, picks up the ball and goes running back to her side on the left, throwing a ball that's bouncing straight down the line at Capula, easily blocked and thrown back quick to Sonia Lopez. Lopez, who goes over to that left side, a lot of movement for Spain, tries to throw down the line at Capula, but not possible to make that goal. Lots of movement compared to the last game that we just viewed between Hungary and Portugal. Capula this time from the right side of the court throws across the face of Martel, not able to get that ball, but Lopez goes from right to left, throws a bouncing ball and just angled too much, didn't cut back over and throws the ball directly out. So the ball will be dropped back in at Capula's side, and Lepinen came over to collect that ball. She's throwing out a center now, moving out Mikola, throws down into that corner of Lopez, who just drops where she is, but that ball is just out, although the corner was open. Alvarez takes the ball from right back to her left side. She's going to throw a smooth ball into the gap between Mikola and Capula. Again, Spain not capitalizing on some of the mistakes that Finland has made in the previous days. This game's still 1-0 for Finland with 7 minutes and 37 seconds left in this first half. Capula throws into the center but blocked out by Martel. The ball will come back in on the right side with Lopez for Spain. She's setting up on that right post. Throwing into the center, easily blocked by Mikola, who's going to chase that ball down. And Finland calls a timeout. Their first timeout of this game. A little bit of a different lineup for Finland this morning. Generally, they're starting number 7, Mina Grunroos, and she will either play in the center or the left wing position. But this game, they started Jasmine Mikola, number 6, in the center for Finland. She's done a really good job so far in the defense, and Finland can be thrilled with the start that they've had so far in this game. After a shaky start, Spain gives up the first goal in the center by Martel. She has also been looking a little bit shaky this game, but Spain has seemed to recover after a somewhat frazzled start to this game. They will look to hunt for their first goal of this game with the help of their thrower, Sarah Alvarez. The ball starting off the court this time with Krista Lepinen on the left side. Lepinen throws a smooth ball into the center. High ball thought by Isabel Rico, but not called. Passed off now to Capula after a block by Jasmine Mikola. Capula spins around and throws a skipping ball into the gap between Martel and Alvarez. Alvarez is late coming into the gap, sweeping her feet over, and that ball is the second goal from Capula this game. Alvarez on that left side trying to make a goal by bouncing the ball in the center over Mikola, not able to be bounced over, passed off to Lepinen, who throws what Rico thinks is another high ball this game. Short cross the face of the center. Spain will pass this ball out. Martel just fumbling on that chase and not having enough time or confidence that her teammates can get the ball off in time. Not looking for a 10-second penalty. The ball will go back to Finland, where it will be dropped on the right with Capula, who's moving into the gap, spinning around and throwing another skipping ball down the line at Alvarez. Alvarez on that left side, throwing a smooth ball down the line, saved deep in the gap by Capula, who's going to throw her third shot in a row now. Capula throwing into the center, but safely blocked by Martel for Spain. Passed off to the right to Sonia Lopez. Lopez throwing also into the center. A little bit of a deflection off of Mikola, but forward and sideways. Then given off to Capula. 4th throw now in a row. She scores her 3rd shot of the game across the face of center, passing Martel, and Lopez dropping just a little bit late and angled, and she's able to just breeze the ball past them. Sarah Alvarez on this right side, trying to start with this ball, jams the ball into the ground, throwing at Lepinen, who has yet to find the back of the net this game, but throwing a smooth ball, saved very deep in the gap by Sonia Lopez, who plays standing up. Lopez throwing into the center at Mikola, but is not able to get a goal past her. Mikola passes over to the right wing of Lita Capula on the right side. She's going to spin around and throw a bouncing ball into Martel in center, who passes the ball off to the right to Lopez. Lopez is going to back up into the gap and throw a bouncing ball at Mikola. Deflects a little bit up in the air but forward, passes off to Lepinen on the left-hand side. Lepinen throwing a smooth ball again across the face of center of Martel, just blocked by her feet and passed off to Sarah Alvarez on that left-hand side. But Alvarez puts too much angle on that ball, sending it far wide of Krista Lepinen. Lepinen will receive the ball with a full 10 seconds. She'll set off the court to start this throw and tries to throw a ball into the gap, that right gap between Martel and Lopez, but is not possible to get past them. Lopez sending a ball into the mid-wing line of Krista Lepinen. Lepinen quick shots and just caught by the toe of Martel, who gets her feet out just a little bit late, but the ball is blocked out and forward. Alvarez will start with the ball with a couple of seconds gone off of the shot clock on that left side. Too much angle on that ball, but Lepinen able to make that block on that left side. She's going to pass off in the back center to Capula, who's throwing that ball just out right after half court. The ball will start with Alvarez, but Lopez is over on that left side to collect the ball, and she will throw from that left side as well. Lopez throws a ball cross court on Lepinen, passes Lepinen, but has too much angle on that shot and will go out. That shot was a no-chance shot. It would not have ended up in the back of the net even if Lepinen did not get there. Lepinen from that left side trying to curve the ball, almost does so right past the feet of Martel, but blocked and passed off to Sarah Alvarez on the left-hand side. Alvarez tries to bounce the ball across court, but the ball died just a wee bit and was not able to get past Lepinen, who passes the ball in back center to Capula, who throws the ball out just again after half court. A little bit of a misalignment from Capula, but again, Finland still up by 3 with the help of Capula, so she'll be thrilled with that. Lopez from the left side throwing across the face of Mikola, who doesn't make the block, but is saved in the gap by Lepinen. Finland will take their first time out of this game. Sorry, their second time out of this game, actually, with 3 minutes and 57 seconds left on this clock in the first half. Finland up with a 3-goal lead thanks to number 5, Lita Capula, who scored all of their goals so far against Spain. The ball will also remain with their goal scorer, who's holding the ball in back center right now. Lepinen walking away, so surely she will be the thrower after this timeout concludes. Capula spinning around, just getting the ball into that corner of Sarah Alvarez, who drops just a little bit too early. And now Finland will take a 4-goal lead in this game against Spain with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half, sorry guys. Mikola makes the block and will take the ball herself. The second throw for her this game. She throws her first goal of the tournament, just throwing the ball past Martel in center. Alvarez drops a little early just again, and the ball will go past her feet, deflected into the goal and not able to be saved by Sonia Lopez. Alvarez this time trying to bounce the ball, deflects the ball off of the feet, across of the face of Mikola, but Lepinen is able to recover this ball. Lepinen, center took it. Martel from Spain, who throws into Capula on that right side of Spain's defense. She'll spin around and throw another bouncing ball in the corner of Spain's defense on that left side. Hits the post, deflects forward, and Spain should have a full 10 seconds to go with not... Spain will not. Spain passed the ball out, even though the ball didn't hit any of the players, so they would not have had the 10-second clock started. Capula again down the line, at least attempted, but released out on that right side for Finland. Sonia Lopez over on that left side, but taking that ball back to the right. Throws what is sure to be a high ball straight into the center at Jasmine Mikola, who dives out of the way in the center and just misses that ball. Sonia Lopez with the first goal of Spain, bringing a little bit of momentum back. The score is now 5-1 Finland over Spain with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in this first half. Now Lita Capula down the line on Sarah Alvarez, who's moving into the gap to throw this shot. She's going to throw a bouncing ball into the center at Mikola, but saved safely. Mikola's going to take the ball herself. Spinning around right-handed, throws the ball into the center and is loose for her second goal of the game. Her fourth shot of the game, so she has a 50% scoring record right now for Finland. Right into the center, deflected off of the feet of Martel. But Mikola almost has another deflection off of her feet as well, but luckily enough, it's forward. Krista Lepinen from that left side throwing a full cross, and it's loose from Sarah Alvarez, just leaning back just a little bit, and the ball ends up in the goal. Lepinen's first goal of this game. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. A lot of things going on this game and a lot of goals going in on Spain. A timeout should be called by Paco Monreal to try to rally their girls up. Ball thrown by Sonia Lopez in center, saved by Mikola and passed off to Capula on the right side. Capula throwing a bouncing ball into center, again frantically saved by Martel. Paco Monreal will be taking out Sarah Alvarez to put in Maria Del Mar Marino. She generally has been playing on the right wing for this tournament. It looks like she still will be playing on that right wing, although she can play left wing and center as well. A change needed for Spain. A little bit frantic play in this first half as they're trailing by 6 goals. It's a hefty goal to ask them to try to get these 6 goals back, with Finland having a lot of momentum on their side now. A huge lead over Spain, and not a lot of open shots to try to choose from to score on this Finnish lineup. The ball will be taken by Marino on this right side. They're trying to throw a bouncing ball, but dies just a little bit. Gotten by Mikola. Sonia Lopez. But Mikola will still throw this ball on that right side. Marino will be playing on that left wing for Spain. She's over to try to collect the ball from Lopez, but Lopez shoos her away. Lopez will throw this next ball down the line, saved by Krista Lepinen. On this left side, Lepinen setting up at her post, trying to throw into the gap between Martel and Lopez, who drops late, deflected off of Martel and not able to be saved by Lopez. Lepinen got her second goal of the game, bringing Finland to an 8-1 lead over Spain. Spain needing to do something to save this game at this moment. Paco Monreal calling a timeout with Isabel Rico, trying to re-rally the team to bring a little bit more defense stability to them. If they can bring a little bit more defense, they do have the option of preserving this game, although they are down by 7 goals, which is a lot in goalball, a lot to come back from. Finland thrilled with their performance so far, even with an alternate lineup of having Jasmine Mikola in center, maybe thinking about putting some of their other players in. We have not seen Ezra Tayabi in this game at all. And we have not actually seen her play through this tournament at all. So maybe it's possible that Finland will put her in. But we're not sure yet. So we're going to have to wait and see what decisions that R2 has for this, R2 and Pavi have for this game. This ball will be taken on the right side by Maria Marino, who just releases the ball out. It just floats out, but a great shot trying to hit down the line, hits the post of Lepinen, but again, doesn't really count. Lepinen on this left side spins around, this time left-handed. Something very interesting about Lepinen that I've talked about in previous games that as a player is very interesting as well, is that when she tries to bounce the ball, she does so by spinning around left-handed instead of doing it right-handed. It's a very interesting and alternate technique that she uses. This time Kapula over on Lepinen's side. She's going to spin around this time and throw a bouncing ball into Sonia Lopez, who drops. A little bit of a deflection, but saved by Marino, who's going to take that ball on the left side. She's going to try to throw a full cross past Lepinen, but easily blocked on that left side by Lepinen. Marino lost, and another opportunity for Finland to take another goal lead. Missed, but doesn't matter. They're still up by 7 goals. Lopez running from right to left to throw this ball. Potential high ball, but not called. Blocked by the feet of Lida Kapula on that right side for Finland. She'll take the ball this time at the post, spin around, and throw a skipping shot across the face of Martel. Completely missed by Martel, who dove completely late, but saved by Lopez, who's going to run from right to left to try to hit the feet of Kapula again, but easily blocked out by her. Kapula taking the ball this time, going to back center to hand it off to Lepinen, who's sending Mikola away. Lepinen from the center trying to hit that gap between Martel and Lopez, who's dropping late. Lopez has an alternative playing style of playing standing up, which is seen a lot back in the 1990s, but not a lot in the 2020s. It is a very, very old style of goalball, very rough on your body. Mikola will take the shot for Finland after a block, and will throw a smooth ball deflected off the feet of Martel, but into Marino, who confidently says that she has the ball. She'll take this ball from the left side, hitting Mikola, which deflects, but just sideways. And we are at halftime, guys. Finland is leading this game 8-1 at the half. Not a lot of responses from Spain. Just the one goal past Mikola directly in the center. She has not gone out of the center since then at this point. So Spain doesn't have a lot of options, although from previous games yesterday, maybe an option that Spain will want to look for is to put in some players who can bounce the ball a little bit. She has a little bit of trouble in center, especially blocking bouncing balls. Spain is not taking advantage of this at this moment, but we have seen that yesterday in the game against Ukraine, where she also played. Again, Spain is not looking at these different options to take and has come up with a little offense variability other than sweeping. Sweeping is essentially when a player takes the ball from their side, runs to the other side, and tries to throw a shot off of a play. At least that's what we call that in the U.S. A lot of movement from Spain, which can be very advantageous, but in this case is not working on Finland. They're trying to hit too many corners and not hitting the gaps at all, or trying to stretch out Mikola in the center position. Not testing the newcomer out at all in these games. But again, Finland has taken a lot of opportunities in this first half and has gained a substantial lead over Spain, who's had some trouble in the center with Martel, who's been a little bit shaky, popping a lot of balls into other players or deflecting them into the back of the net. Finland has had a good game plan so far going into this game, so we're looking to see if they can continue that this second half. Something maybe we want to see is for Finland to make a substitution to put in some other players. So far they have not. They still have Tayabi and Also, Mila on the bench, along with number 7, Grunroos, their left-handed player. And let's see if Spain has made any changes. They have still Sonia Lopez in. I believe they also have Martel in the center still, but this time they may have. Let's see if they've made actually the change. 9-3-7. Martel seems to be out of the game, if I'm correct. I'm not sure if that's a 1. Yes, that is Maria Del Mar Marino. She will probably not be playing center, but she has the ability to play center. And we have number 3, who is Carmen Benitez. We saw her also in center yesterday, so she will likely be taking up that position again today for Spain this second half. As Finland, they obviously, like I was saying before, could make some substitutions and bring in some of the players who are on their bench, but at the same time as well, something that they may want to consider, because Greece hasn't played Ukraine yet, is that if Greece beats Ukraine, there will be a 3-way tie between all of those teams, with Finland losing to Ukraine but beating Greece, and Greece potentially beating Ukraine, which means that they will be searching for point differential to try to bring themselves in that first place position going into the semifinals. Some very smart playing by the coaches, and so let's see if Finland can end this game early 11-1. I'm sure that is the goal from their coaching staff. This game will start off in the second half with Lepinen, who has the ball on the left-hand side. She will be throwing the ball, blocked by Lopez, but saved by Marino on that goal line. Marino bringing the ball to that left-hand side, but blocked by Capula, who's going to spin around now and throw a ball cross-court to Lopez, who leaves her corner open on that right side, and Finland will take a 9-1 lead with another goal by Capula. And Spain will restart with Sonia Lopez on this right side, throwing into the gap between Mikola and Lepinen, deflected off of the feet of Mikola, very, very close to going into the goal, but at the last second angled its way out. Lepinen is having an equipment check at this moment. She seemed to have gotten that ball in the face from the player from Spain, from the deflection from Mikola in the center. They're just checking the ball now because there was maybe a little bit of blood on it or something else. They were wiping it off, maybe thinking about getting a second ball in there, the 10-second timer. Lepinen coming in back center now, throwing the ball, and into Lopez again, who just drops at the last second on that right side. The ball deflects forward from Lopez, chased by number 3, Benitez, and just goes over half court, which means that it's a turnover, ball over. Ball again thrown by Lepinen, dropped at the last second by Lopez, and recovered by Benitez, who passes over to Marino, who throws into the center. Mikola will take the ball, spinning around this time, throwing directly in center. No issues for Benitez to block this ball, and she'll pass over to Marino on that left side. Slow pass from Benitez to Marino. So Marino had to get a ball off really fast, blocked by Mikola in the center, passed off to Capula on that right side, throwing from the gap close to center, trying to hit a bouncing ball, hitting the center Benitez. Benitez will throw the ball to Lopez. Lopez throwing from that right side, a smooth ball into Mikola, who makes a clean block but has to chase it, and passed back to Lepinen on the left side. Lepinen throwing into the gap between Benitez and Lopez. Benitez deflects the ball backwards, but Lopez pushes back and saves it on the goal line. She'll be throwing from that right side, again almost deflected by Mikola into Lepinen, but Lepinen makes that block. She'll be spinning around left-handed to bounce that ball, dropped by Lopez and saved. Marino over on that right side to throw that ball across the face of Mikola in center, who almost dove out of the way yet again, but Capula dove in very, very deep in that gap and helped recover that ball. Capula from that right side, throwing down the line to Marino, who makes that save on the left sideline. Mikola taking the ball again from center, backing up this time to the net. Spinning around and throwing a ball directly into center at Benitez. Benitez passes that ball off to Marino. Marino goes around the center to throw this ball. Throws directly into center, though. An inaccurate shot, potentially. And passes off to Lepinen. Lepinen, another shot into the gap close to Benitez. Benitez deflects the ball, but sideways and forward and collected by Lopez, who's going to throw in that in that middle of the wing line area at Lepinen. Lepinen and Capula now meeting in back center. Moves Mikola out of the way in center and throws directly from center. Almost another goal from Capula from Lopez, just dropping and leaving her corner open again, but the ball had too much angle and it went out. Now Marino over on that right side to take this ball. She's going to throw into that gap between Mikola and Lepinen, but just saved by the feet of Lepinen. Lepinen on this left side, again spinning left-handed, trying to bounce the ball, but dies on its way down and really doesn't have a lot of action on it. Now Lopez on that right side, she'll be throwing the ball down the line, saved again by Lepinen from her hands. She'll be backing up and setting up on the post. A smooth ball into the center, but just deflected forward by Benitez and recovered by Marino. Marino, almost a high ball. Not called, thrown into the center from Mikola, who passes off to Capula. Capula throwing a bouncing ball, but saved by Marino, who's offered a lot of great defense this half for Spain. Potentially something that Paco Monreal wants to think about in the future, starting his best defensive lineup. We also had the same situation the last game, Portugal against Hungary. Ball by Capula into the center, saved by the feet of Benitez. Benitez blocks the ball out and will deliver the ball to Marino. Lopez, actually, who's over on that side. Lopez throws a smooth ball just into the center at Mikola. They're really trying to focus their offense into the center, but she blocked the ball out this time. Capula trying to bounce the ball. It goes past Benitez in center, but saved deep in the gap by Sonia Lopez, who's going to throw this ball from the right side again into the center at Mikola, who easily makes the block and will just take the ball herself. We have a plane flying overhead, so we will have an official's timeout so that all of the players can have the same advantage hearing-wise in this game. Mikola's taking the ball over to that right side. She will take the ball and throws a smooth shot down the line at Marino, who makes a confident block on that left side, offering a lot of energy to that Spanish team with her enthusiasm on the court. She throws into the center at Mikola, but still makes her make a dive. Mikola passes off to Capula, who's throwing from that right side across the face of Benitez, deflected a little bit backwards, but saved by the feet of Sonia Lopez over on that right side. Spain calls a timeout. There's 7 minutes and 11 seconds left in this second half. Spain is still trailing 9-1 by one of the favorites of this tournament to win, Finland. Finland won the last edition of the European B Championships, which was in their home country in Pahulahti, Finland. So they're hoping to make a second title in the European Bs and ascend into the A pool for next year's Europeans, which will be a qualifier for the 2024 Paralympic Games in Paris next year. Looking to get their hand in the pot. Lopez starting from the right side, running over to the left side and throwing down the line at Capula, who makes that block, easy block by Capula. She's going to throw cross court on Lopez, but too much angle and it's out. Marino is over on this right side to take the ball this time. She's going to take the ball, stomping a little bit on her way, blocks out in that gap between Mikola and Lepinen by the feet of Mikola, blocked out cleanly. Lepinin this time taking the ball from outside of the court's boundaries, throwing across court on Marino, who makes a confident block on that left wing, feels at home at that left wing, will take the ball on the post and throw another full cross on Krista Lepinin, but easily saved. She'll be going back to the goal and taking a couple step approach to throw a ball that curves slightly just past Marino, but the angle of the ball was not enough to stay on the court. We have Sonia Lopez, who takes the ball from that left side, runs back over to the right, and will throw into the center, blocked by Mikola, who will pass off to Lepinin for her third throw in a row. Lepinin straight into that gap between Benitez and Lopez, but saved by Lopez deep in that gap. Lopez throws a smooth ball across the face of Mikola, but just saved by her fingertips and passed off to Capula on that right side. Capula's going to spin around and throw a skipping ball, again trying to get that full cross into the corner. Lopez just drops and leaves the corner slightly open, but the ball is not able to make its way in as it has too much angle on it. Marino makes her way over to the right wing, collects the ball, and runs back to her left wing post, but puts too much angle on that ball. Lepinin running from the left to the right and throws a ball at Marino, but blocked by Marino. And now will be passed to Lopez, who's throwing in the center. She throws a bouncing ball with way too much angle out. The ball went out before even the half court line on this side. There's 5 minutes and 38 seconds left in the second half. Capula came over to the left side to collect the ball, and she's heading back over to her position on the right to throw. She spins around and throws a bouncing ball, just saved by the feet of Benitez in that center position, in that gap between Marino and Benitez. Marino taking the ball from left, running to the right, and throwing a ball that's very close to being a high ball in that gap between Lepinin and Mikola. Mikola taking the ball this time, spinning around, missed by Benitez, but saved by Marino. I also want Azra to play, so that would be great. I haven't seen her step onto the court yet, but that would be a really cool opportunity. Unscoop. Lepinin now taking the ball from that left side, and she gets her third goal of the game with just a little mistake from Lopez, who had her feet misaligned. The ball deflected off of her top foot and just made its way into the corner of the net. Spain is now trailing 10-1 against Finland with 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in this second half. Blocked by Mikola and passed off to Capula, who throws into the center at Benitez. Lopez will try to make an impact with a bouncing ball, but just too much into the ground, so it's dying just a bit. Passed off again to Capula, who will look for her next goal of the game, trying to throw on Marino, but Marino makes a confident block that deflects forward. She'll have this next block, or this next throw. Lopez will make her way off of the court, the goal scorer for Spain, and we will have a substitution for Spain. Out Sonia Lopez, who's number 8, and in number 9, Raquel Rico, the daughter of Isabel Rico, making her way onto the court to try to see if she can make an impact. She has traditionally played on the right wing for this tournament, so we're hoping to actually see her there again. She'll have high hopes of trying to score a goal for Spain, but will not start with the ball for this half. It will go to the left side with Maria Del Mar Marino, who's going to throw down the line on Lita Capula, looking for that next goal. She hands off to Krista Lepinin on that left side. Lepinin throws into the gap between Benitez and Rico, but saved deep by Benitez on that right side. It's going into Rico, her first shot of this game as the substitute. She'll take this ball right-handed and throw cross court, but saved by Capula on that right side for Finland. Capula will back up to that right post. She'll spin around and throw a smooth ball this time down the line to Marino, who makes a confident block. She's very excited about that block. You can hear that. And she'll throw a cross court to Lepinin. I thought almost maybe Lepinin might dive out of the way, but she just catches that ball. She'll move to throw from that left side, and Rico makes a very last-minute save. I thought that was goal-bound, but it was not. She'll throw a cross court trying to score on Capula over on that right side, but that ball has way too much angle and will not make its way into the goal. Capula setting up on that right post. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Ball is loose almost by Rico. A deflection off her feet, but she's able to roll back and save her own block. Rico throwing a cross court, easily blocked by Capula over on that right side, who's going to go over to the left side on Lepinen's side to throw now. She tries to throw down the line, but there's a little bit too much angle just at the last second, making its way out before it hits Rico. Rico will hand the ball off to Marino, who made her way to the right side, but is now running back over to the left. Marino throwing a full cross and just blocked out by the center, Jasmine Mikola, who sweeps her feet across. The ball went out in the neutral zone, so it will be a turnover. It will make its way back to Spain. Rico going from right now to throw from the left side of the court. She's going to throw a smooth ball into the gap between Mikola and Capula, but Capula saves that ball. Rico still is not back at her spot, so Finland missed a shot to quick shot, but saved now. Lepinen, from Lepinen to Rico, who hit the mid-body of Rico in the middle of the wing line on that right side for Spain, but Marino is now over on that right side trying to hopefully make her first goal of the game, but she releases the ball out. Lepinen now, she will take this next shot. She'll go to the outside boundary of the court, maybe looking to shoot outside in, into that gap between Rico and Benitez. Benitez makes that block in center, just a little bit too much angle from Lepinen on that ball. Passes to Marino, and Marino throws that ball out. There seems to be a little bit of confusion. There is an equipment check happening right now. The court will be wiped due to maybe a little bit of sweat being on it. Very, very good to wipe the floor so that players do not injure themselves in the process of slipping on their own sweat, or maybe even worse. Lepinen will receive this ball as it gets bounced in on her side. Oh no, Capula and Lepinen actually changed sides, so Capula will be on the left side. She just took that shot, and Lepinen now is playing on the right wing for Finland. Mikola is still in center. Marino moving over to that left side after collecting the ball from the right. She will throw down the line on Lepinen, almost into the goal, almost looking at it and thinking that she might not make that block. She'll throw down the line on Marino, who deflects the ball out with her hands, a shot that had a lot of pace on it from Lepinen. Rico is over on that left side to collect the ball from Marino. She'll throw a smooth ball down into the mid-wing line area for Lepinen. She's lost on the court right now, so Lepinen could have taken advantage of it, as she wasn't able to be at her spot, but she was down for the block by the time it did make its way back. Marino now over for Rico to try to collect this ball. She'll either stay on the side and throw. Nope, she's going back to her own side. She'll try to throw a shot down the line again on Lepinen's feet, but she's able to just swing her feet down that line and make that save. Capula over for Lepinen and goes back with the ball on the left. She'll throw a ball down the line on Rico, but Rico is there to cover her line. 1 minute and 33 seconds left for Spain to try to preserve this game, 10-1, so it doesn't end early. Rico trying to throw a full cross into Mikola in center, so it doesn't make its way fully across the court. Mikola takes the ball this time and tries to score that last shot for Finland, deflected off of Benitez, but saved by Marino on that left side. Marino throwing from that left side into the gap, just saved by the fingertips of Krista Lepinen, and Arttu and Pavi from Finland will be calling a timeout to try to get that last goal for Finland so they can secure a 10 points to their point differential. So if Greece does tie Ukraine, that they have the opportunity to perhaps take the first place spot to play Hungary in the semifinals tomorrow. Spain having to put a lot of focus in this last minute and 12 seconds, put a little bit more effort into the offense and to preserve their defense and really focus on that so that this game doesn't end early. The ball will be on the left side to start with Lita Capula, who will start from that left wing position, just saved by Raquel Rico, who just made a last-second dive. She'll start at that right post and throw down the line at Capula, who's going to get up quick but decides not to quick shot. She will spin around and throw a skipping ball into Raquel Rico, who just, again, makes that last-minute dive a little bit late on some of her dives. Throws into the center at Jasmine Mikola, 42 seconds to go. Spain still trying to preserve this game. Lebanon out of the right side throws with too much angle, too far to the right. And so Spain will have a full 10-second shot clock with the ball being dropped on left wing to Maria Del Mar Marino. She'll stomp a little bit and throw that next throw down the line at Krista Leppinen. Leppinen taking that ball from that right wing just over Benitez and angled out. That ball was very, very close to going into the goal, but Spain must be thrilled with 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Raquel Rico taking that next shot for Spain, throwing into the center at Mikola. Finland has a maximum of 2 more shots to try to get their 11th goal of the game, to try to gain some more point differential. It looks like they will not be subbing in any of their bench this game so that they could potentially get that point differential. One of maybe the last opportunities to play for Ezra Tayubi as they're heading into the semifinals tomorrow, but potentially maybe they'll give her some time against Hungary. Krista Leppinen and Lita Capula may switch for this last shot for Leppinen to have a one-on-one on Raquel Rico over on this side. That seems to be Finland's goal. Benitez blocks that ball out in that right gap between Spain and between Benitez and Rico. Paco Monreal will call a timeout now with 9.21 seconds to go on that clock, maybe asking his team to hold the ball, which maybe wouldn't be a great idea because they did block the ball out, so there is time off of their shot clock. Maybe if they want to preserve this game, to slow roll the ball, or they could have a shot in mind to try to get another goal, but they are giving this ball to Raquel Rico over on the right side for Spain, hoping that she can make a shot. Maybe she's throwing out of the center, Benitez standing up, so we're not exactly sure where she's going to throw from, but it does look that she's trying to find that center position. She's taking her time to set up that shot. Throwing out of the center, trying to hit the body of Capula, but saved. They will be putting in Mina Grunroos for Jasmine Mikola, trying to get Finland one last shot with 0.10 seconds left on the clock. Finland not able to get that shot off from Capula, but still wins this game 10-1. Their team must be thrilled with this outcome over Spain. Spain may be a little bit disheartened, but was able to make their way and keep hold of the game all the way to the end against a strong Finnish team. Finland moving with 3 more points into tomorrow's semifinal games. We will come back now for this next game, which will be at 11:20, Greece versus Ukraine. Finland still has one more game to go today against host country Portugal at 1:40 this afternoon, or 13:40 local time. So make sure you tune back in. Our next game again is Greece versus Ukraine. Thank you for joining me for this game, and if you come back for the next one in just 20 minutes, we will see each other soon. So thank you again for joining me, and have a good rest of your morning.